on your side. This is WHAS 11 News.
Hurricane Irma is a Category 4 storm as it slammed Cuba and barreled toward Florida. On Twitter, the National Weather Service says nowhere in the Florida Keys will be safe. The storm has already killed more than 20 people after flattening the Caribbean islands of St. Martin and Barbuda. Good Saturday morning, Kentuckiana. It's 6 o'clock and 58 degrees outside. So great to see you. I'm Tabby Dozier. All eyes on Hurricane Irma, the storm getting closer to Florida and presenting the worst case scenario for deadly storm surges and powerful winds once it hits the Sunshine State. On this Saturday morning, meteorologist Reed Yaden joining us now live from Pompano, Florida, with more on how people there are staying safe. Good morning to you, Reed. How's it going out there so far?
Okay, here where we are, fine. We're in Broward County, north of Dade, and I will tell you, the streets are deserted this morning. We're at the beach here at Pompano. The initial feeder bands, some of the feeder bands of precipitation, Caitlin will show you this in a minute, are just south of us, down in the Miami area, and you'll see some lightning in the background from time to time. What we are watching this morning, the lower Keys, the National Hurricane Center down here and elsewhere, and anything the National Hurricane Center is putting out this morning, they are begging, literally begging people in the lower Keys, all the Keys, but the lower Keys in particular, because it looks like that's the bullseye tomorrow morning about 2 a.m. The lower Keys, please leave. But the problem is, any chance of leaving is fast closing. Caitlin can show you the radar coming up in a minute. That's the story as we open this morning. We're at the beach. Winds here about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Skies are partly cloudy, and we're up near 80 degrees this morning. Today, you better be ready, but yesterday was a day for getting ready. For a lot of people, it was a good day to visit the beach. And in a number of cases, they were bringing bags with them. Bags to take away sand. Sandbags are in short supply, so for some folks, borrow a little from the beach. A breezy day brought the surfers out in fairly good numbers, some with surfboards and others with kites for kite surfing, complete with a pretty fancy jump. Boarding up windows with plywood was keeping this crew very busy. Plywood is in short supply, so this 7-Eleven resorted to metal. Beach Pizza was boarded up, but it was still open, with a very strong message for Hurricane Irma. Public transit buses cruised A1A, offering rides to shelters. So this morning we are waiting and watching. Things will generally and slowly go downhill today. The winds will come up, conditions will deteriorate, not rapidly, but gradually. Okay, let's throw it to Caitlin is in the Weather Center this morning. Caitlin, you've been tracking the same data we have, and it doesn't look very pretty, particularly for the Keys.
It definitely doesn't look great for the Keys. I know you and I were just talking about how important it is for folks there to get out because of how strong Irma is. It is an extremely strong Category 4 hurricane right now. The winds, max sustained winds at 155 miles per hour. From the 2 a.m. advisory to the 5 a.m. advisory, we did see a slight drop in the status from Category 5 back down to Category 4 as the storm makes its way over Cuba, but still an extremely strong storm, and want to show you what's going on in the tropics right now. We still have Jose off here to the east, but Irma is the main concern for folks over the next 24 to 48 hours in South Florida because of how strong it is. Again, moving over Cuba right now, a slight weakening of the storm, but as it makes its way towards Miami and the Keys, it could increase in strength again because of the warm water that is sitting out there right now. You see all of these warnings up here and watches. An extremely strong storm was a Cat 5 when it was over Cuba, now down to a Cat 4 as it makes its way to the Florida Keys. Will push on up into the northern part of Florida starting on Monday, going to make landfall within the next 24 hours down there in the Keys. Once it pushes up, it'll drop a little bit in strength and then could eventually bring some rain to our area starting later into Tuesday and for your Wednesday forecast. Here's a long-range futurecast of the rain that we could see. You see Irma eventually pushes its way through Florida, bringing with it that heavy rain, anywhere from 8 to 15 inches of rain for Florida. Going to be an issue for the folks in Georgia and Atlanta too. And then again, a little bit of rain for us starting on your Tuesday afternoon. Want to get you a little bit of your local forecast right now. We'll get more on that in a little bit, but temperatures right now in the upper 40s and 50s for most folks. Very cool start to our day. Tomorrow's weather going to be very similar. Very clear on your radar and satellite right now. No rain chance until that Tuesday evening rain with Irma. I want to just quickly show you an hour-by-hour forecast for today. We'll warm up to a high temperature of about 74 degrees and mostly sunshine. So if you haven't made plans to get outside today, it's going to be a great day to do it. We'll get you that 7-day forecast and more on Irma in just a little bit.
Caitlin, thank you. Don't forget, for the very latest on the forecast, download the WHAS 11 News app in the Google or App Store. We will also be sure to keep you updated. Many developments, both here online and on air, WHAS11.com. In world news this morning, the death toll continues to rise following a powerful earthquake on the southern coast of Mexico. The country's president says 61 people are now dead after that magnitude 8.1 quake hit the area just before midnight Thursday. The president has declared 3 days of national mourning and vowed that the government would help rebuild. 5 people, including 3 students, are recovering this morning following a JCPS bus accident. It happened around 3:30 Friday afternoon in the 4600 block of Cane Run Road in Lake Dreamland. JCPS telling us bus number 0755 was rear-ended by a car. 13 students were on board at the time. 3 were taken to the hospital. Those injured students are from Liberty High, Atherton High, and Western Middle School. Dispatchers tell us 2 other people were also taken to the hospital. No word on their conditions at this time. A man suspected of robbing a Louisville convenience store is due in court this morning. Dakota Coslow is facing second-degree robbery charges. Officers say the 19-year-old robbed a Circle K on New Cut Road that's close to Outer Loop. LMPD announced the arrest overnight on Facebook, thanking the public for tips. Again, Coslow set to be arraigned later this morning. The music world mourning the loss of Troy Gentry and Don Williams. Gentry, one half of the Montgomery Gentry duo, was on his way to perform in Medford, New Jersey when his helicopter went down in a wooded area near the airport about 1 Friday afternoon. 50-year-old Gentry was taken to the hospital where he died. The pilot, 30-year-old James Robinson, died at the scene. No word on what caused this crash. And then the gentle giant Don Williams passing away Friday after a short illness. The Hall of Fame singer of Tulsa Time was 78 years old. Concerns overnight about thick smoke near a subdivision in Jeffersontown, why firefighters say there was some trouble getting those flames under control. Plus, the details on a festival happening this weekend to raise awareness about mental illness. We'll see you soon.